First question is from Dave Assay. Go ahead, Dave.
Hi, Mitch. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Dave?
Doing well, thank you. I was just curious if you could describe for us what your season has been like, being at USC and having a couple of cup of coffees up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been cool. It's been definitely really different. USC is not Dodger Stadium, but we've done a good job over there just bringing a lot of the younger guys, some guys we just drafted, some studs, and working with some of the older guys. And it's been fun there. And then obviously getting a chance to be up with the big team and places like here, like this new Texas Stadium is gorgeous. It's unbelievable. It's been a lot of different stuff and just kind of riding with it and rolling with it and seeing what happens. But it's been cool overall. It's been great.
Do you feel like you've been able to take steps forward in your development this season?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, we've still been able to do all these live BPs and sim games at USC, and I've been working on a lot of stuff. Like I've always been working on the changeup kind of stuff, a lot of delivery work, and so far it's been great. I feel really good about where I'm at.
Hey, Mitch, I was wondering if you've had a chance to talk to any of your minor league teammates that haven't been included in the 60-man bubble and don't have a season. How are they dealing with life and how are they surviving?
I mean, yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, some of my closest buddies are like that in similar situations. And a lot of them are getting jobs working as coaches or just random odd jobs here and there. I think it's been pretty tough. One of my close buddies moved down to San Diego recently, and he's just doing like the travel ball circuit thing down there. So, I mean, most guys are doing all right, but it's hard to get reps. It's hard to, just survive, like make money to survive. But they're figuring it out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question is from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Hi, Mitch. It's such a unique year for everybody. But when you're a young player coming up in pro ball and you're trying to make your mark and make your way, how much more challenging does it become when, along the lines of what Dave was just talking about, not having minor league games and those types of things, but how much harder does it become to make your mark when nothing seems to be normal?
It's weird. I mean, you're totally right. In terms of making my mark, I don't even think about it like that. It's just like whenever I'm needed, because it's really, there's no blueprint for this. There's no way to figure out what's coming or when I fit in or whatever. It's more just, hey, you're up, let's go. And whenever that comes, I mean, the plan is just to be ready for that.
What do you think your emotions are going to be like when they say, hey, you're needed?
I think I'll be juiced. I'm excited. Whenever that comes, I think that's going to be the case. I don't know. Usually I get a little anxious beforehand, like when I know it's possible. And then once I start throwing the ball, it's like, all right, here we go.
So if that's the case, how anxious have you been recently?
I mean, yesterday was interesting with the doubleheader and not really knowing. And obviously it was a last minute decision in the second game. I was definitely a little anxious there, but you kind of figure out how to manage that and just kind of ease into it. So it was cool. It was cool.
Is there anything that could possibly prepare you for this moment emotionally, perhaps that you've gone through before? Perhaps when you were trying to make a team, in your younger years and kind of waiting to find out?
Not really, I don't think. I mean, it's different, especially with the circumstances this year. I think it's just different from anything else I've been through.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. Best of luck to you. Thanks for your time, Mitch.
Yeah, thanks, Alanna.
Next question is from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Mitch, just what are those games at USC like? How competitive do they get?
It's definitely a different atmosphere. It's a little more laid back. It's hard to sometimes it's hard to get really going. We do our best to try to make it competitive, exactly what you're saying. And we'll do certain, like the hitters will do machine games off of Iron Mike. And they'll kind of make point systems and do all that. But there's only so much you can do. It's just sometimes it feels a little more dead. I mean, that's just the truth of it. But we're doing our best to keep the progression in mind and development still.
Yeah.
So.
Is it difficult to walk that balance over there between, you want to keep developing your game long term, but also knowing that, at any point you might be like now called up to to maybe be needed in a big league game and trying to stay game ready? Is it hard to do both of those things at once?
I don't think so. I mean, it's definitely something you got to keep in mind. Like, it's not like I'm scrapping everything and trying something new or going all these wholesale changes. It's just small tweaks, just here and there, trying to better whatever I can and be ready for when it does come. And I feel like so far we've done a pretty good job. I mean, there's a great group of coaches there that have been taking care of us. So it hasn't been too crazy or tough of a transition.
Yeah. What has your personal emphasis been on this season, the things that you've been working on?
For me, the biggest thing has been the delivery. Just working on slowing it down a little bit and just being ready, like slow, and then just fast, explode. And that's the idea, and hopefully it works out.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Got a question from Ken Gurnick. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, Mitch, next week is the trade deadline, and this club almost every year at the trade deadline trades prospects for veterans. So chances are somebody from SC in that group is not going to be with the Dodgers anymore in a few days. And I just wondered if that goes through your mind personally, and or if there's talk among those young players and prospects as far as what the next 3 or 4 days are going to be like for you.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely always goes through the head, especially with the past years. Like you said, I've been around for a lot of those, like the Yu Darvish deal, the Manny Machado deal, whatever. But it's such a weird season. I don't know how likely it is we do make a move, and it just seems like the team is so complete and so good. That's not to say nothing's going to happen, but yeah, I mean, it's always in the back of your mind, and we'll just to talk about it, but nothing serious, really.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Mitch, your story so far has kind of been dotted with injuries. Do you look at that and think, geez, I wonder how far I would be if those things hadn't happened?
Yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes, but not really. I mean, it sucks in one sense, but at the same time, I don't regret it, really. It's just stuff like that happens sometimes, and now I know how to take care of myself better.
Have you learned things from those
those
incidents?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, just being in the training room with some of those guys, they're insanely smart. Just all the stuff that they work with your body, and it's not just for baseball; it's just for life in general. And now I'm trying to teach my parents that for them to learn, or like my family, or whatever. I think it's just cool stuff for anybody. So.
Is there maybe a silver lining in this weird season without minor league games where it might be easier for you to stay healthy and progress?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an upside, because at USC we have a little more control over the length of innings and nothing really gets out of hand there. So, yeah, and then we have obviously a really good care from the training staff and the strength side. So it's been great with that.
Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Got a question from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, Mitch. Apologize if you've been asked this already, but I'm sure when you're imagining your major league debut, it's in front of fans and big crowds and things like that. And I'm curious what you think it's going to feel like if it is in an empty stadium somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about that with some of the other guys the other day. I mean, I think still I'll be juiced. Like I said earlier, like it's just going to be, I mean, it's unlike anything else. But then maybe if I do maybe if I get in another game next year with fans, then that might be like another debut. I mean, it's just, there's no way to replicate that. I mean, they got the cardboard cutouts, they got the crowd noise, but it's just not the same. So I think there'll be like a 2 double debut, I guess, maybe.
Is there any element of that where it makes it easier to kind of ease into it? Because it I don't know, maybe there's less of that kind of pressure of having all those people.
Yeah. I don't know yet. Maybe maybe I'll get back to you after I do.
How much did your just being around in spring training and just before the season, your success pitching against major league players give you confidence going into this year?
I mean, it's always good to be able to get out and do it. Like in the back of your head, you know you can do this, you know you could be here, but actually doing it and being able to be in summer camp with the best lineup in the league, honestly, it's like two of the best lineups in the league, even split in half. And pitching against them, that gives you some confidence for sure. And that always helps, I think, just doing it, just going out and pitching. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
I got one final question from Eric Steven. Go ahead, Eric.
Mitch, most of your time in the minors has been as a starter. Just wondering if you do happen to pitch in the majors and it comes in relief, is there anything differently you do, preparation in game, before game, anything like that?
I mean, yeah, the usual prep for me before a start is like an hour and a half before the game, and I get going slowly and kind of build up. Obviously, you don't have that time as a reliever, but I mean, I'm kind of used to it. I did it in college, and I did a little bit last off season, just kind of getting ready for that possibility. So it's not totally different, but it's definitely a little shortened.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks, everybody.
Cool. Nice.